Yeah, thank you, Louis.
Oh, I also agree with you on one other time. I didn't unmute quick enough, but when you were discussing the Bi-Cameral setup of the government and how bipolar or schizophrenic, in fact, it is, and it is just that. So the Senate, which represents the states, not the people, to say that it's we the people and the power, the people have the power, and then to install bring it to existence an entity that is above the House of the people. It's actually the senior house, or the upper chamber, as they like to refer to it, is just it's nonsensical. So
yeah.
You've immediately created an entity and installed it above the House of the people, where it's direct representation of the people. Yet it makes absolutely no sense. So I yield.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you for affirming that. When people contemplate the insanity of the present model of government, I just want to pull my hair out when people start talking about how divinely inspired the Constitution is and how George Washington was such a godly man and Alexander Hamilton and the other founders. I just want to pull my hair out because that system was engineered to treat the average working class American as a slave. That's how it was engineered. It was just what they did. The English government under which we were previously existing was adulterated with the Roman Empire municipal model of government. That's why it became tyrannical and oppressive, and the King of England and Queen, they became more like a Roman emperor, a god king, than a king under the rule of law, under the rule of the common law. There was, in the olden times, there was mechanisms of accountability over the king, and but ever since the Norman conquest, there's no mechanism of accountability, and it's just another version of the Roman Empire model of government. And so, with the grand opportunity of an American Revolution to throw off the chains of tyranny and create a new system of government, they actually gave it a half-hearted. They did pretty good with the Articles of Confederation. That was a single unicameral system of government, no separation of powers. See, that's two different points. Unicameral is single governing body, single legislative power with no separate Senate and House. There's not two different houses. There's one house, one general constitutional congressional assembly, and they're under at the same time. It's not there under. It's to the side, a different issue. The so-called different departments of judiciary and different departments of executive, as opposed to the legislative. No. Throw that all out the window. Under Articles of Confederation, the judicial was part of the Legislative Assembly, and so was the executive part of the Legislative Assembly. And if you remember our U.S. Senate report here, where it says that the whole reason that we got to have a tyrannical system of Roman Empire model of government is because the assembly is too slow and too numerous for being able to move quickly and efficiently to address the needs. Well, guess what? The Articles of Confederation General Congressional Assembly was quite able to move quickly and efficiently, at least in comparison with the system we got now. The system we got now is way, way painfully slow and dysfunctional. The Articles of Confederation, they had a single governing body, and it had executive, legislative, and judicial authority all in that single governing body. And that is real similar. The similar ancient pre-Norman conquest system, which is really our foundational bedrock that we need to be getting back to, was called the Assembly of the Wise Men. The exact Anglo-Saxon terminology was the Weitangemote. Gemote, it means assembly, and Y10 means wise men, assembly. And it's in your Black's Law Dictionary, and you can look it up on Wikipedia and things like that too. But that is very similar to the Articles of Confederation. And if we'd have stuck with that, we would be in excellent shape right now. But Alexander Hamilton, the money changer, and George Washington, the murderer, they had other agendas. They had slave trading agendas. They were all aristocrats that were addicted to the Roman Empire model of government that was happening in England. They just wanted to out the king. They wanted their own Roman Empire model of government where they were in control. That's what the scheme was. They were high-level Masons, okay? They were having their secret little meetings. For God's sake, it's well documented. The Boston Tea Party, that was engineered by Masons. It was all Masons that partook in that. So we've got entrenched evil, and it's part of the design of our present system of government. And unless we revert back to the more pure principles that were of responsible self-governing, that were actually meaningful, accountable, organic accountability of the higher levels of government to the lower levels of government. These are so important for the welfare of the people. And the previous models have existed well at various times in our history. And if we just are diligent about refocusing on the tried and true, proven ancient models of organizing self-governing communities in an organically accountable hierarchy, then we can save this entire system from the agents of evil that are oppressing us and treating us like slaves. So